Unsure? You are not alone. NASA has just released updated dates for Starship Flight 5, yet much is still left to be discussed. Meanwhile, poor weather conditions and the new FAA regulations have resulted in yet another postponement of the much-publicized Polaris Dawn mission. In shockingly strange way, NASA also awarded its contract for lunar missions to Intuitive Machines. These news flashes from outer space are making waves in the industry, and we are here to tell you all about it. As we approach Elon Musk's anticipated timeline for the launch, there appears to be no advancement made thus far. SpaceX seems to be stagnant, as does the FAA. FAA has announced that they are only now starting to review space proposed modifications, hence no issues have been investigated so far. As a result, this holdup has affected the demeanor of the launch timeline. At a meeting of the NASA Advisory Council, officials at NASA recently updated anticipation regarding the Starship launch date. Starship Test Flight 5T has now been targeted later during this autumn according to Kathy Luters, one of their reps. So this suggests that we may not even see a launching until after she said it, or even longer with fall starting around September 22nd. This means we have to wait 3 weeks before anything comes forth, which is really frustrating but coincides with how slow things have been moving for both SpaceX and FAA when it comes to their schedules, as since then there is no progress reported since the last test including spin prime of Ship 30, August 7th of 4, and static fire of Booster's tail for Troy. Additionally, while SpaceX could be upgrading systems at chopsticks for catch purposes, but it seems like the FAA is the real culprit here. It's confusing why they would delay consideration of SpaceX offer, especially since no one has said anything was wrong with it yet. However, it is the uncertainty that makes it difficult to predict when the FAA will complete its evaluation. Given this scenario, it is likely that SpaceX and the FAA will take additional 3 weeks or more to sort out all issues involved. This is frustrating because many expected that this timeline would be shorter. If NASA's predictions are correct, then Flight 5 will occur a minimum of 3.5 months after Flight 4, possibly later than this too. In stark contrast to earlier times when SpaceX reduced the duration between Flights 3 and 4, there is now an increase in turnaround time. So according to you guys, when do you believe the new launch date will be? What are your legend? Remember to like, share, and subscribe so that you can follow the progress of SpaceX and all its projects. In other news, environmental issues in Texas and a recent disagreement with CNBC have led to escalating tensions between SpaceX and the FAA. The FAA has now written a draft environmental assessment for SpaceX's Starship program, which is a critical regulatory milestone. However, during the public comment period that closed on August 29, allegations emerged suggesting that SpaceX violated the Clean Water Act at its Boca Chica launch site. These allegations have cast doubt on site. Consequently, the FAA postponed public meetings scheduled for mid-August while announcing plans for revising the EA, triggering more delays in SpaceX Starship launch Starson. Environmental groups are increasingly challenging SpaceX's goals, raising concerns about how these issues could affect larger missions, such as NASA's Artemis program. These delays underscore the ongoing conflict between protecting the environment and advancing space exploration. Some speculate that the strained relationship between Elon Musk and government officials might be contributing to the regulatory slowdowns. Recently, he clashed with the Brazilian government after they blocked Starlink's financial accounts, highlighting his concerns over government actions hindering innovation. Musk was quick to point out that SpaceX and X are separate entities with different shareholders. He stated, "I own about 40% of SpaceX, so this absolutely illegal action by the dictator Alexander unfairly punishes other shareholders and the people of Brazil. In the U.S., SpaceX's struggles with the FAA, especially delays in Starship and Falcon rocket launches, are frustrating for a company known for its fast-paced development. However, despite these setbacks, SpaceX has greatly enhanced the U.S.'s position in the global space race. This makes it essential for agencies like NASA, the FAA, and environmental groups to find a balance between necessary regulations and advancing technology. There's increasing pressure on these agencies to review their processes to support space exploration without unnecessary delays. As SpaceX continues to push the limits, the way these regulatory issues are handled will be key in determining the future of space exploration and the U.S. With that, the updates on Starship have wrapped up. Now, let us shift our focus to Polaris Dawn. SpaceX recently shared an update on the mission through X, mentioning that weather conditions on Florida's coast remain unfavorable for Dragon splashed in Minkim after its return from space. Once teams find the next best launch and return opportunities, we'll provide further updates. Falcon 9 and Dragon are still in good shape and positioned on the pad at 13D. Musk echoed the cautious stance, tweeting, "Everything possible must be done to assure astronaut safety. Safety is the top priority," a sentiment echoed by Jared Isaacman, the mission commander. Isaacman stressed the importance of weather conditions and acknowledged the recent landing issue with Falcon 9. He apologized to those eagerly waiting for the launch and highlighted the team's dedication to patience, resilience, and teamwork. His update reassured everyone that the crew is ready, staying productive in quarantine, and can be prepared to launch within about 30 hours of a favorable weather forecast. The weather has been a persistent issue, disrupting a previous attempt at the Polaris Dawn mission. It highlights the unpredictable challenges space missions face. While weather is uncontrollable, the situation is further complicated by the FAA's potential investigation into the recent Falcon 9 anomaly. If the FAA moves forward with this investigation, it could cause additional delays, similar to the pause in Falcon 9 flights that occurred in July. SpaceX hasn't addressed this in their latest announcement, so the exact timeline for Polaris Dawn remains unclear. Given the current situation, it seems unlikely that the mission will happen in August, even though August was supposed to be a busy month for SpaceX. These delays might push important events into September. Hopefully, September will bring exciting updates, including Starship Flight 5, Polaris Dawn, and Crew 9, all set to launch. In other news, NASA has given a new contract for a lunar vehicle to Intuitive Machines, the company that launched the lunar lander on the M1 mission earlier this year. On August 29th, NASA announced a task order worth $69 million for its commercial lunar payload services (CLPS) program, awarding it to Intuitive Machines. The company also shared this news on X. Intuitive Machines will deliver 6 payloads, weighing a total of 79 kg, to the Moon's South Pole region. These payloads include contributions from NASA centers, the European Space Agency, ESA, and the University of Colorado Boulder's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics. The payloads cover a range of scientific experiments, from biology and planetary science to space science, as well as a laser retroreflector array. Among the payloads, the European Space Agency's ESA package for resource observation and in situ prospecting for exploration, characterization, and testing prospect is notable. It will drill a meter below the Moon's surface to look for substances like water ice. Chris Colbert, the CLPS program manager at NASA's Johnson Space Center, highlighted the mission's importance, saying, "The instruments on this flight will help us achieve many scientific goals and improve our understanding of the Moon's environment." This contract is the 4th task order NASA has given to Intuitive Machines, showing the company's growing role in lunar exploration. Intuitive Machines is the only company to have successfully landed a lunar lander on the Moon in over 50 years. Despite some delays from the first 2 missions, NASA is hopeful about the future. The agency plans to award more task orders next year, with Intuitive Machines expected to continue playing a key role. In 2023, the company has also got its 2nd lunar mission of the year, called M2, projected to lift off on a Falcon 9 rocket alongside another lunar expedition called Blue Ghost. Once again, these missions will emphasize the major significance of SpaceX in the ongoing race to the Moon. Keep your eyes open as we keep our close watch on these developments. From the difficulties encountered by Polaris Dawn to advancements in Moon X-Day, it is going to be a very important period in the next few months for SpaceX, NASA and SAA, and space amarers at large. Well, that is about it for today's episode. Thank you very much for tuning in and stay safe.